Everyone was laughing, but I'm not serious. I'm very serious. I love that.
See, I just it's real. So one yeah. Do you have any kids? Right. Yeah.
Thing is, just so you know, people who may join us virtually.
Yeah.
notes. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can hear me, clap once. Oh, you guys didn't learn anything in school. You hear me, clap once. You hear me, clap 3 times. All right, all right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you got an opportunity to get to know each other. Find some similarities, find some differences, of course. I learned a lot from my partner. If I'm able to share, one of us watches anime and the other doesn't. I'll let you choose who that would be. She doesn't watch anime. I do a lot, and so I was hoping that we could connect there, but you know, we both play sports, but different sports. And so I think this is a great exercise and kind of like the spirit of what we're doing, right? We're all unique in a way where we're all coming together in one mission and one cause to move forward with our community advisory committee. So thank you again for participating and being here. And with that, I think I'll pass it on to the lovely Lydia to go on to the next one.
Thank you, Manra. Thank you everyone for being here. It's really good to have you doing this work alongside us. As the superintendent mentioned earlier, we want you to be our thought partners in the work that we'll be doing together. And an initiative that the district is working on, and just for you all to provide us with your feedback. And you are all here because of your expertise and your experience with BPS, with being a parent, a community member, a staff, a student. And so we would love to hear your thoughts about the work that we're going to be doing together. So I look forward to all the conversations that we'll be having here. And yeah, so that's pretty much our goals and for our time together. So you pretty much covered everything. I just recapping. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to our work together. I think I'm turning it over to agreements. Danny, you're gonna go.
All right. So, like we said today, we wanted to make sure that you can get to know each other. But not just get to know each other, but to think about sort of like, how do we set the conditions so that you're really successful? And so like any group, we want to make sure that we can kind of come up with a set of agreements and norms for how we want to do our work together. And at the district, for a long time, we've been working on these agreements that have been adapted a couple of times one by the PEG group and one by CEI. And so what I wanted to do right now is just kind of go through these agreements and then have you get up again. The agreements that we have are stay engaged, step up, step aside, experience discomforts, speak your truth, listen to understand, and expect and accept non-closure. So what I thought we could do now is that, what do these things mean, right? So if you don't mind, all throughout the room, we have, like right here, we have speak your truth. What does that mean for the RESJ Community Advisory Council? For you to be able to sort of function well, to hear your different perspectives, to think about the advice that you're going to give to the superintendent and to the Board of Education. What does speaking your truth mean to you? So what we're going to ask you to do is to go to one of these and kind of come up with a definition together with your partners, whoever goes there, and we'll help, spread out everything. And then after that, we'll share what your definition is. And then we'll come together and do what's gonna be difficult, what might be easy, what are we excited about? We'll kind of go from there, okay? So, however you wanna do it, go ahead and find one of those, and we'll give you a couple minutes, we'll give you about 7 minutes to come up with the definition. What does it mean to listen to understand within the context of this group? Okay? There are no right answers. You're helping to define this for yourselves, okay? So don't be shy. And folks from the team will be all over the place. So being engaged is one, step up to the side, another one. Experience discomfort, speak your truth, expect and accept non-closure, listen to understand. And then you have them. You can do that too. And then for the RESJ team, if you could fill in where there might be fewer folks. I'll stay here with you, okay? Right, so. Yeah. So it's Stay there. Okay, everyone. If you can do whistle. You can stop. I was trying to do a whistle, but then I forgot. I don't know how to whistle. All right, we're gonna do share around and do some discussion. So if you wouldn't mind sharing with us kind of what your group came up with in terms of these agreements, like how are we setting the stage so that how we're going to be able to work together, communicate with one another, give advice. Who would like to go first? Okay. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
I didn't use that away.
So you want to experience discomfort.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's hard.
I think what we sort of agreed on is that you gotta be able to acknowledge that it's gonna depend on the space that you're in. Some people are gonna be uncomfortable in this space for a time or in a school or different, depending on who you are and where you're at. Some of us are familiar with having a code switch when we leave the house. We gotta be one person and a different person we are with our family. But just being able to acknowledge what makes you uncomfortable, and then being able to sit in that space and operate around, like, okay, I'm uncomfortable, or this is a feeling away. Then we can talk about, being engaged and listening, understanding, and stepping up and stepping aside. But you have to be able to acknowledge what makes you uncomfortable and why, and then you can operate on how to mitigate it.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to like what Menroth was saying about like that space to heal, right? Like we have to, in order to heal, you have to kind of say what it is, like, and to acknowledge that. Anyone have any questions about experience discomfort? Be willing to experience discomfort. All right, great job. Thank you. You're going to stay there. Other folks who'd like to go?
Yes. So one of the things that we've was like be your true self, and be your true self, and I know that speaking your truth might actually make you experience discomfort, but you just want to have a growth mindset and have constructive criticism about whatever you disagree upon.
Okay. Well, someone in our group also talked about like trying not to hold back, like that this was a real opportunity to kind of like put yourself out there and to think about what that is. All right, great job. Any questions? All right, so we're speaking our truth. Who else wants to go?
Do you want us to go? Sure. Do you want to start here or do you want me to start? Chime in if you need.
There's no
How
closure.
about that?
That's what
That's
we're- Quite similar in the way that you would like your office closure or to have a task, tackle it, complete it, and feel good about it, but that when you're doing committee work, and you want to do right by multiple people and multiple stakeholders, you have to sometimes take a step, listen and accept that there may not be closure or an immediate next step that manifests itself and until you can get to it.
It's really hard too, especially because we're in an advisory role, right? So, the like sort of advice change results, like it's probably not going to happen 1, 2, 3, right? It's going to take some, getting to know each other, getting to know the board and the superintendent and doing some stuff and sort of thinking about how it all goes together. So, right. Any questions for expect or anything else? Expect and accept non-closure. That was a hard one. All right. I'm not saying that we're going around in a circle, but do you guys want to go? Listen to understand.
Listen to understand. So we came as a group that we agreed that if anybody comes to you if with any situation, any problem, for example, a teacher is coming to you and what situation she's facing at the school, our job is to listen and understand. We have to pay attention and really put your heart there and listen and understand her situation. Then only you'll be able to find the resource and help her and help that school. Same thing even for a student. If a student is raising a flag that, hey, I'm being bullied in the school, or I'm being having this situation, this problem at my school, then you have to really sit down and listen to this person. If you really understand the whole story about it, then you will find the right resource to help him the right way. So listening is very, very important. Anytime anybody comes with any situation, you have to put everything aside and sit down and listen with full attention.
Thank you. Listening to understand is a big one, especially because I love what you said about like listening with your heart. When we were talking about speaking your truth, we were talking about some of the difficulty in speaking your truth can be the fear of like judgments, that as you're speaking, that someone's not really listening to understand or to believe you. And so that listening to understand almost becomes like listening to believe. What does that look like? Especially now, like where we're so into points and counterpoints and debate, and when's the last time we could listen to each other and think about listening to believe one another, hear the experiences really sort of with our whole heart. Any questions for listening to understand? All right. Should we continue this?
We've got step up and step aside, which our group agreed meant stepping up is contributing, sharing in the group. Sometimes that might bring on discomfort, or maybe that's part of like speaking your truth, but stepping up and contributing to the group and doing that responsibly in a way that monitors your airtime, leaves space in the room for multiple perspectives, and that centers Black, Brown, and Indigenous voices.
Yeah, it's about balance too, right? It's sort of like how do we get to know each other well enough, and how do we really listen and sort of speak our truth in a way where we're creating that balance of stepping up and also stepping aside to hear the full story. Really great. Questions? All right.
Oh, okay, so we have.
That's the way I'm from.
So we have staying engaged, and staying engaged means doing whatever it is that you have to do to stay present. We have ethnically diverse people, racially diverse people. We also have neurodiverse people. You have people who are doodling, you have people who like to write or do things to, keep engaged. I personally am a crocheter, so you guys might see me crocheting. It's when I do my best listening. And also to do whatever you have to do to take care of your body while you were here. So you got to go to the bathroom, got to take a drink, take a walk, whatever it is you need to do to stay present is okay to do.
I love it. Is anyone else a crocheter? Oh, I hear a blanket request coming. Sorry. All right. Any questions? That's great. Yeah, staying engaged is tough, right? Because this is not one. We're not going to have one meeting and then racial justice is achieved, right? Like we're not going to have closure. We're doing stuff that's making us experience discomfort. We're really trying to listen, to understand. We're speaking our truth, and so that like staying engaged is going to be something that's a challenge. So the reason why I wanted to sort of bring up these agreements is because we really think that this is the way that we can really stay in agreement with one another. We really want to create a culture amongst this community advisory committee where we can be in agreement with one another, where folks feel the support and the relative safety to share some hard truths, to share difficult stories, maybe difficult experiences, but all in service of trying to improve the district, improve the experiences of our students, particularly our students of color. And so we really want to sort of think about like, how can we support one another? How do we create that culture when many of us are just meeting tonight, right? So what I'd like to do now is I want you to think about what you bring to this group in terms of the agreements. Maybe one that you're like, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I've got some stuff here. Like, I am a really good listener. I think this is one way that I can support. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to move to the agreement that you think that you've got something to bring up, right? This may be the place where you have the least area of growth in terms of the agreements. And then once you move there, talk amongst yourselves and maybe share with your new team members sort of, you know, how you arrived at that place. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to move, and then we'll give you about 3 or 4 minutes to share amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
I think we're moving together. Oh, I'm seeing some twins. I'm seeing some personalities.
Andy?
Yeah, you're going to an area of strength. An area of strength.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, once you get there, Sarah, what's your group? Why you think it's the strength? How do you
Yeah.
We'd like to just visit. And so so you missed my
Able to see See, I'm always focused.
Okay, about 45 seconds.
So.
Stand out.
We're not gonna get what it's It's the same thing with Yes, ma'am.
Before we move to colleagues. So before we move on to the next movement, if you can take a look at around the room, right? I want you to look and see, look at the strength and step up and step aside, right? Amazing PPS leaders, right? Look at who's really good at listening to understand. There are a lot of good listeners here, right? Take a look, kind of do like a mental Because these are gonna be your support, right? When we likely will fall out of agreement, right? Is you're maybe having difficulty staying engaged. Right? These are folks who have that strength in staying engaged. Okay? So take a look around, see one another, see the strengths in the room. Okay. Now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna ask you to move, but I want you to, and you can only pick one. Think about your role as Lydia and Daryl and the charter said, think about your role as advisory committee members. You're gonna be discussing discipline rates, disproportionate discipline rates, our reading and our math achievement, supports for students and families, right? And think about how your role as advisory members, how we're going to create a culture of support, of being in agreement. As you think about that, which one of these do you think you might have the greatest area of growth? Or the place where you're going to need the most support. So you're going to go to that one, and it might change. Next time we meet, it might be a different one, but just go to that one, share with your group mates, and tell them how you like there. Hello. Hello. Well, the most important area of growth. Okay, go ahead and talk amongst yourselves.
All I really work is talk. So. Thanks, Nora.
So. Exactly, and getting that stuff back up because not will be able to prepare. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Same. I'm not a patient, but we're growing. It's not really that. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
All right, so before you move back to your seats, one of the key things, and you'll hear about it in a moment, is that we really want to create a culture of racial equity and care. You heard the superintendent talk about that. And so as we think about sort of outside of ourselves and look at our colleagues on this advisory committee, and I want you to think about like, where are people standing where maybe was a strength and that they're needing support or help, and just kind of like take a mental picture of sort of like, how can we be of service to one another? How can we really support one another? And just give yourselves a couple moments to do that. Think about that. All right, we're going to move into a break because you've been working really hard. There's a lot of salad left, so if you want to take a 10-minute salad break, that's fine too. We'll do a quick break, and then we'll do some more talking and then some more moving. So we're doing great. Let us know if you need anything. We'll come back at 6:25. And there's lots of salad.
How are you doing? Figured it out?
Oh, yeah.
I can see. It looks like I'm like in the video you watch. It's like eating around. Let's do that.
You were right today.
On the video?
Yes, you were. Like here.
Oh, yeah. Things.
Yes. I'll actually put it on here, but I haven't.
Yes, yes. Together, you know.
Yeah, we're having.
Good so sad, but okay. Where they come from. I signed up for it. They signed up for it. They started really awesome. So yeah, so much fun. And you know, really feel this. Yeah.
Study at 8:30.
Okay. Yes.
Is your program day?
We have,
Yeah, I mean. So.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah. Stop.
They
are.
That's the.
Freedom to consider.
Well, I mean, that's.
Yeah, house.
But that's, when we talk about, so in each to have.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're with me, okay, that's why I.
Yeah, so that's what.
Yeah, I look forward to everybody. We're not here, I was talking to the organization today. Looks good.
No, it is, and that's. What we have a partnership. Yes.
And I didn't even contain, I was writing.
I will. Yeah, it was.
Yes, it's right.
It has names and numbers so that you're.
And I feel like.
You're kind of faster. Yeah. So. Something tells me that I was not being.
So you said.
Yes.
So nice. So what is your room?
So you're going to be charged that.
I only have
You know what I mean? I'm like, there's so few. But that was my thing. I'm like, yeah.
So what kind of citizen?
In our first.
Yeah, I think.
So that would have had.
You have like
Yeah. I mean, she's. Yeah. Okay. No, it's. Now, once we help you, but now I know already. Somebody just wanted to like this now. So, you know, you have something else. Yeah. And so I was, yeah. I told her.
We're gonna come back together now.
Yes.
And, we're gonna watch a couple of videos. So the next part of the agenda, what we're gonna do is, well, by the way, welcome back. Thank you. How was your break? Good. Awesome. Did everyone get some salad? No? Okay. So for the next part of the agenda, we kind of have our sort of how we want to work together with our agreements. But I want us to kind of spend some time getting to some common agreement about the what. So this part may be the least exciting part, but it's so much. So we're going to watch a couple of videos, just kind of getting to some common definitions. And then I'm going to just go through a really quick overview of RESJ work in the past, what we're doing now, and kind of where we want to go moving forward. And then we'll get into how can we support you. So we'll go through this. So as part of our initiatives in our district is an innovation laboratory, and we partnered with the innovation team to develop these micro lessons on reflecting social justice. And these two videos are sort of like first ones that are just sort of like a way to get to some common language around some definitions. We'll want to build on this, but we just wanted to share it with you. You might see someone that you recognize in one of the videos. So Lydia, will you play the Will?
Let's talk about race.
Can you turn it
We're
up?
gonna take
Lydia?
some time to get aligned in our language. A lot of times, the biggest miscommunication and harm that happens in things like design groups and big conversations is that we're using words and language that we all have different definitions, understandings of. So we're gonna take some time to get really grounded in the working definitions that we use here at PPS about racial equity and social justice. The first one being racism. Racism equals racial prejudice plus institutional and social power. Let's be real, everybody has racial prejudice, but not everyone in the US has institutional and social power. Racism is also a system of advantage based on race. It's also a system of oppression based on race. And lastly, racism is a white supremacy system. White supremacy, let's go there. So when we talk about white supremacy, what we mean is the ideology or belief that white people are inherently superior to Black, Indigenous, and people of color, based on their values, ideas, actions, and beliefs. But let's pause. When we talk about white people, what we're talking about is just people who happen to be white and have the skin color of white. Whiteness is the culture in which white people live in. Whiteness in itself is inherently not bad and not a problem. It's when we get into white supremacy that it becomes an issue, and we have to be able to break it down and really evaluate, analyze, critically think about it. So again, white people and whiteness, nothing's wrong there. When it's become supremacist. So let's just take a moment and breathe about that. What is race? Race is your assigned membership to a group based off the skin color that you have or other physical features that you might have and that people have decided means that you are that race. It's a social construct and we know that, and it still has some real life impacts that are really harmful and oppressive in our world. Ethnicity, it means where your people from. It's your culture, your background, your traditions, your beliefs, maybe your religion, the food you eat, the music you listen to. It's all the things that make you a full and rich person. Nationality, it's what your passport says. It's the status of belonging to a particular nation or by birth, your naturalization. In the last few years in the US, those three words have gotten really, really convoluted and mixed and matched and caused a lot of harm. So it's really important for us when we think about designing policy practice that we are able to know what each word means and use it in the correct terminology and way. Definition. Hey, I'm Will. And I'm gonna be your learning facilitator. Let's talk about race.
I'm gonna. It's really. Links to this so that you can listen with the things. They're really good. The surprise was that Menroth is from you. So that's something to look forward to. And Menroth and Will are both very open to any type of like theater direction or just like feedback you have for them about their video. So anyway, sorry about the sound. We'll fix the sound when it's there. So all right, well, so we wanted to, get grounded on common definitions, but also wanted to get grounded on sort of, as you're giving advice to the superintendent and to the Board of Education, we wanted to get grounded on some of the work that's underway at the district. And you heard the superintendent allude to these like primary documents and the way that we've been trying to frame it. So tonight's all that paper is really just stuff to use as a resource as we keep going on. As you all know, there's like over 45,000 students at PBS. 81 different schools. So many things are going on in our district. And a lot of times, communication and how what we're doing in this building, what we're doing in other buildings, sometimes doesn't get shared or wires get crossed. So we wanted to kind of start with today, just by kind of trying to get everyone on the same page of some of the work that we are doing. We've got a lot of work to do, but we just wanted to kind of give folks a broad overview about sort of how racial equity is sort of currently positioned in the district. So on the next slide, you have in your packet the vision, which in 2018 and 2019, the district worked on the vision process, and you heard the superintendent talk about the different components of the vision. One of the things that I'm really proud of is that the vision had over 45,000 pieces of input from across the district. So many of our partners, parents, students who've already graduated, which seems so weird now. They seemed so young at the time, but they already graduated from high school. All participated in helping to define what our vision is. And so that graduate portrait is really kind of what our community came together and said, this is what we want for students in PBS. So that idea of preparing students to lead, change, and improve the world, overwhelmingly, we heard from teachers, principals, from our community, how important it was for PBS to be able to help students support them in that. And like the superintendent said, we have this graduate portrait, but unlike a lot of other school districts across the country, we also went a little bit further and said, well, if we want that for our students, then how do the adults get prepared to be able to support our students in that way? So we outlined a series of educator essentials. We think of everyone, whether they're a principal, a teacher, a student success advocate, as being part of that like educator role. And then he talked about the system shifts, right? How does a giant district with a $2 billion budget, with 81 schools, like 9,000 teachers, like how do we sort of move this big system in a way that leans towards racial justice? One of the things that I'm really proud of is that throughout the vision, in every component, the values, the educator essentials, the system shifts, the graduate profile, everyone resoundingly talked about the importance of racial equity and social justice. So it's written into the very fiber of everything that we're doing. So we go to the next slide. I really like this sort of graphic because as like an organization, as like a big district, we like to think about the vision, that document, the vision document, as being our destination, right? Once our students are achieving that graduate profile, we kind of arrive, right? It's the destination. The strategic plan is our roadmap. This is how we're going to get there. It's the instructions. And then our compass, like how do we make sure that we're on the right path? Like what tools do we have to make sure that we're achieving and doing things in the way that we want to, is the goals that the board has set out for our students. And those goals, we're really proud of the work that the board has done, because across the country, school boards have been very controversial, right? In Portland, Oregon, our school board is one, more diverse than it was 4 years ago. And two, our board has said, tied everything to the superintendent's pay, to the way that they evaluate the superintendent, to the way that they're leading the district around how are we closing those opportunity gaps for students of color? How are we making sure that students are reading on target, are achieving math on target, are ready to succeed in high school, and are going to graduate and be prepared for either college or career, what they want to do, right? So this whole, all of these right here have racial equity imbued in them. It's foundational to everything we do as a district. So when the state of Oregon, when the governor, when the Department of Education in DC, when all of those folks who look at how is Portland Public Schools doing, they look at these documents and racial equity is in there. Doesn't mean that we've achieved that just yet, right? But we've sort of set this container to be able to do that. So we go to the next slide. One of the things I wanted to show you was our strategic plan. So our strategic plan is our roadmap, right? So we say that we want students to be transformational racial equity leaders. What does that mean? Right? We say that we want every adult in our school district to be racial equity centered, to be able to support students, to be able to disrupt inequities in our system. But how are we going to do that? So the strategic plan is one of the ways that we propose to get there. And for this advisory group, I want to focus you on these 3 goals. One, you can't read it here, but in the strategic plan, there's the strategic plan is divided into 4 themes. The first theme is racial equity and social justice. Oh. And under that theme, we prioritized 3 of the 5 goals. One being transforming systems and structures. 2 being cultivating a culture of racial equity and care. And 3, implementing a Center for Black Student Success. And this year, our superintendent and our leadership team all came up with how are we going to do this? And so our priorities as a leadership team are around making sure that everything that we do is aligned to our strategic plan. That and any given day, right? You start your day and you're like, I'm going to go to school. Then you see a cute cat on the way to school. And you're like, well, I'm going to follow this cat, right? No, right? Like you can get distracted. So everything should be aligned towards our strategic plan. We want to make sure that we're supporting our educators, that they are getting access to all of the development and training so that they are delivering really high quality instruction so that our students are succeeding. We want to make sure that particularly our Black students who've been so impacted by inequity have a place, the Center for Black Student Excellence, that's not just a place, but that is also a series of strategies that can be replicated and that we can build that muscle so that we can do that for all of the different student populations at PBS. And we want to make sure that our spaces where we're at is up to date in terms of technology and the changing world, that our spaces are, that people have equitable access, that folks with disabilities can access those. And we want to make sure that we're supporting our team at PBS, right? A lot of people will say that the thing that makes an organization strong are its people. So how are we supporting and building capacity for our people? So go to the next one. So we have the strategic plan. So let's start with racial equity and social justice, right? So over 10 years ago, PBS was one of the first districts. It used to be 11 years ago, now I think it's like officially 12 years ago. PBS was one of the first districts in the country to have a far-reaching, not just an equity policy, but a racial educational equity policy. And that educational policy really laid out the work of the district in terms of disproportionate discipline, making sure that students have access to diverse set of like learning materials, to making sure that teachers, principals, staff are exposed to racial educational training, and to make sure that we're partnering in the community in a way that also works with community organizations like ERCO or like POIC or Open School, so that we are really supporting students. So this policy is something that our community should be really proud of. But it was passed in 2011, right? So each year we're kind of like, where are we on those things? And you'll notice that when the superintendent talked about the things that he was really interested in, they almost pair exactly with the policy, right? The superintendent really gauges our success as a school district and how well we're doing on racial equity, which not a lot of folks do. And especially in our state, in our region, in our country, right? So this is really important. So at PBS, we would like to think about, like, we start with this core value about dignity and respect, about seeing the value of racial justice, about really sort of internalizing the idea that unless every student, particularly our students of color, succeed, then we are not as strong as we need to be, right? So we start with this value, we have this really far-reaching policy, and then we have a racial equity and social justice lens. And you have a copy of the lens there, and it's really a tool. It's like a workout tool, if you think about it. It's helping our district build a more critical lens in the way that we think about policies, decisions, resources. And then in 2019, over 120 different PBS staff worked with myself and the team before it was a team to develop the framework and plan. And what this framework and plan, go to the next slide, does is that it has 5 goal areas. And those 5 goal areas are teaching and learning, student-led initiatives, talent diversity, community partnerships, and equitable business operations. So as a community advisory committee, one of the things that we'll want you to do is not only give advice to the superintendent, but it also helps calibrate us as a district in terms of how we're doing, right? So we have all the documents, we have all the values, we have everything set in place, and we're trying to measure and we're trying to communicate how we're doing. But we also need your perspectives to talk about how are we actually doing. So if we go to the next slide, some of the things that we'll talk about, and one of the things that when we talk about sort of how we want to work together moving forward, is that we want to give you information about work that's underway, some successes, some ways that we may be failing forward, some things that we thought might work and are not working. So I wanted to share with you, this is too small to go through all of them, but I'm really proud of the work that we've been doing as a district because there's a lot of the things that are in the plan that we're like, we got that, we're moving forward, we're doing really good work on. Our community partnerships, for one, is something I'm really proud of. We had over the last 2 summers during the end of the pandemic, remember when there wasn't a lot of like in-person options, folks were feeling really burnt out, and we really wanted to make sure that students had an opportunity to be with one another, to try to provide not only resources, but also some options for safety. Gun violence, as you know, was really escalating in our community. And so over the last 2 summers, we've partnered with over 50 different partners and provided free summer activities for 10,000 students. So anything from like a cooking class to robots to volleyball, so many amazing activities. We have over 25 RESJ partners who are in 53 different schools that serve about 3,000 students every day. SUN, we have 5 partners in 45 schools that serve over 9,000 students. We also have childcare that's 13 different partners in over 45 schools. So it's really, we've really tried to think about PBS not only in the skills and the resources that we have, but also how do we bring community in? One of the things I'm really proud of is that when we look at the staff of our partners, they're very diverse. At PBS, our staff is maybe 75% white and 25% people of color, but it's changing. We're moving in the right direction. Our partner staff that we work with, these culturally specific and multiracial organizations, some of the lowest percentage of people of color they have working is 80%. So our students are seeing folks who look like them, who share their life experiences, who are an additional trusted adult fostering them. Our student-led initiatives, one of the things that was really important to the superintendent is to think about how can we bring student voice back to the decision-making table at PBS? And so we've worked really hard to help diversify the district student council DSC, there's a lot of letters. And one of the things is that we are trying to implement student affinity groups at all middle schools. We heard from students that a lot of folks had affinity groups like the Black Student Union or the Native American Student Club at high school, but not every middle school had those. And so we're moving into making sure that middle school has them. Then we're even starting to have some grade schools that have them. In teaching and learning, we're really proud of the instructional framework that's been implemented this year. Lots of new curriculum and materials have used the RESJ lens as a way to adopt those materials and those curricula, and all really in alignment with our racial equity and social justice standards for adults. So we're really so much to do. I could talk about this all night long, but I won't. But these are the types of things that we want to share with you, so you can get a sense of what's happening, what could be improved, what could be maybe brought to scale. Maybe we need to focus on something else now. Really excited about this. One other thing I would say is that we got a huge grant from the Wallace Foundation. One of the things that the Wallace Foundation talked about is that teachers play an amazing role, a huge role in student learning, and principals play a huge role in student learning. And there's tons of research that says if we have a diverse set of principals, if we have school leaders who are instructional leaders who reflect the diversity of our students, not only do our students of color do better, but the whole school does better. And so we're really invested on building a pipeline of school leaders who are diverse, because we know that that's going to really make a difference for students of color. So we're really excited about that work. All right, so that's our RESJ at a glance. It's a lot of information, and you have more words in your papers. The one thing I do want to sort of go through is that our RESJ team, when I started at the district, I was a one-man band. Oh, it's a joke that's not funny anymore. But now we have like such an amazing team of just great folks. So you've met a lot of folks and you'll meet more of the team. But I'm really proud of the fact that Will and Jasmine are here to support school sites. So as there's maybe incidents of hate speech or teachers or principals that need support in professional development or specifically around racial equity, they're there to be to support folks. Kenesha and Lydia and Menroth support our partners from RESJ to Sun to childcare, and really sort of are there to support both schools and students and our partners. So we're really trying to grow the team in a way that is of service to schools and really focused in on how do we make sure that we're implementing these strategies. So Amy, Lydia, Menroth, Will's not here, but you saw a little bit of Will, Jasmine, Tanisha. Pam's not here, but she's amazing, and Daryl. They're all here, and this team is really fantastic, and we're really here to support you. We want to make sure that you have what you need to be successful. I think I'm the first one to say that like this work of racial equity and social justice in PPS is not done. We have made a lot of strong strides, but we really need you and your voice and your perspective to help us kind of accelerate the work, to give us that really honest feedback about what's working, about what you might change, how you might adjust, and to make sure that students, which is why we want to make sure that we have our students here, that you're feeling this. And if you're not, that we, how do we sort of pivot and make this something that is more meaningful to you? So tonight, the next thing that we want to do with you is talk a little bit about how can we support you, and how do we want to think about the next series of meetings. So tonight is a retreat. I was told maybe not a retreat on campus, but tonight is a retreat. We're just want to focus about like the how. So what we're going to do, Jasmine's going to walk you through an activity where we really just want to hear from you about like, what do you need? right? So there's logistics, right? Like have the meetings in the morning, have the meetings at night, more paper, less paper. More salad, less salad, whatever, there's nothing on the logistics side. We would like materials, 2 weeks in advance. We would like, the meetings to be, 1 hour with a 30-minute break, whatever you need, right? Think about that in logistics, okay? And then the other thing that we want to start mining for you is, what's the content that you really want to talk about and give advice to the board and to the superintendent about? We heard from him about what he wants to hear from, right? But you all came with a set of beliefs and experiences and wanting to make some changes. So what are some of the things? We'll add some more paper up there. If there's something on there that's already on there that you're like, yeah, I want to talk about early literacy. That's my jam. I'm really into it. Go ahead and put a star next to it. But if you're like, you know what I really want to talk about? I want to go deeper into anything. That I think our only container is racial equity and social justice, the PBS, and the strategic plan and our vision, right? That's really what is going to ground us. I think Jasmine's gonna give you directions. Well, no, I think I can.
No, you're all good.
Does anyone, first of all, before we go on, does anyone have questions or needs for information in terms of all the overview that we did about RESJ to date? A lot. Okay. Jasmine's gonna give you directions on.
Go where your heart feels. Yeah, Richard, have you ever done a chalkboard before? It's just writing up. So basically, wherever you have a thought or wherever your heart feels compelled to share, please go there and discuss either with the team around you, or you can write independently. I started giving everyone Sharpies, get some more in just a second, or pens. And yeah, y'all have 10 minutes.
Yeah, and maybe we can have let's, I think also don't be afraid, but like, if you have like a specific area or specific, from one of us on the staff that you want something from, like, don't be shy to sort of say like, I don't know that much about sun, like, I want to hear more about sun, or I have a very specific question about sun, I'd like to discuss as a group, or, you know, whatever. You know, you can write that. You know, we can put up our sort of like staff stuff. We are here to support you. This is the team plus Will, who are going to be here to do that. So we food, less food, more food, coffee, drinks, anything. We really just want to be successful in supporting you. Okay, we'll give you a couple minutes to do that, and then we'll kind of come back and discuss a little bit what came up.
Because so we gotta get a suggestion here. Oh, we want, they're getting sleepy, so I'm trying to put on some music.
Can you go to the, go back a slide? Yes.
Yes, we can, do you want to?
And can you repeat the question for people who?
So what you're doing is that you're, there's two types of slides, one on the content is what you want to talk about in the advisory group, right? Like it's the agenda, right? Do you want to just do like, do you want to talk about
Music.
For
right now?
Yeah, whatever it is, like.
I'm gonna play
it. Yeah.
90s, Goldman Roth style.
I was gonna do Kendrick Lamar All Stars.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, well, we'll put it on, it's from.
I probably know it if you, oh, I know that song.
Right, I just wanted to.
I didn't even hear it back to back.
Yeah, and if you
Yeah,
want to, if you
public
like
speaking
those, the
skills are
chapters
phenomenal.
are, and if you want to ask more.
I mean, Will told me, but it's just really nice. Yeah. It won't play on that.
This thing is not working for some reason.
I'm standing.
Maybe it's more. That's one. No. What?
Can I make a request? I would like,
I know your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations. I really want you for calculated promises.
I like that.
Conversations. I hate people that feel entitled. Look at me crazy cause I ain't invited you. Or you are poor, you the moral to the story. You in person, what the fuck I don't even like. Corrupted man's heart with a gift. That's how you find out when you're dealing with.
Oh, I tell you that?
To know when I know my mama doesn't really shit.
Change. You gotta sing down. You have to sing.
You gotta feel like you're trying to get away from me. If you do, I won't move. I just try for no reason. I just pray for no reason. I give thanks for the day, for the house, and another one, another life breathing. I did it all cause it feel good. No one can do it all if you feel bad. Better live your life. We're running out of time. Let's talk about love. Maybe I do keep my head all the stars all the stars all the
Spectrum Mobile is the fastest growing mobile provider in the nation, and now is the time to switch. Get Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $29.99 for your first line and every line. Click or visit a Spectrum store today.
Right. I saw.
And I will lose page 2 of the law.
Mama seem to take a step out, get some air now, let your act out. Just so I spoke, you'll be heavy in my mind. Can you get the heck out? I need rest now, got me bummed out. So you, baby, baby, baby. I remember empty mind. I should've keep on blessing me. I could be that I wasted the best of me. Oh, you baby, you don't care. Sometimes I read the news, it's just urgent. Trying to make sense of loose change, got me a war in my mind. Let it go away, can keep us holding me. Choose the right, but it will be up in front of me. Oh, I'm feeling you wanna try to believe it. It's inside, on my fears, my since I disappeared. Feeling jacked, hope, feeling joy, lost by the point. First time in a long time. Ooh, way to deal, way to kill the mood. No, you like it, oh, you like it, let me on my empty mind. Do everything I wasted, the best of me, all you baby, yeah. Times I make the new sense, it's just urgent. I make sense of new things, can be a war in my mind. Let it go, what's holding me? Choose the right, but it will break up in front of me. All the way, I wait my own feelings. Still wanna try, still believe. Oh, yeah. Something inside. Gotta get right, trying to read my mind before the end of the world. There's no exit, I miss no text, say you off, not to respond. I don't regret, just pretend it never happened. Half of us stay impressed, how are you? You should impress me. Half of the streets you found to you, and it's simply as
I tried to.
One more minute, finish up your last thoughts. Hey, Lydia. There any more screens? Yeah, don't you think? Arguments, me out, shipping back, whereabouts, I can keep no conflict between what you Oh my gosh.
I know, isn't it?
Five more seconds, finish up your thoughts. 3, 2, and 1. I hope you got an opportunity to share your thoughts, and if there's anything that comes up later on, please feel free to reach out to our team. And got a chance to star, all of that stuff. Now that we have your input, we can really guide how the rest of the sessions will go. We can skip to the next part. Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, so because this is like the first time that you'll be able to give feedback, we'll also kind of come back to you with like a series of agendas with these topic areas. And then we can kind of continue to refine. We're getting to know you, you're getting to know us. So we'll try to get it so that we're meeting everyone's like logistical needs as well as kind of what's coming up as like most popular, most important around the content. And we'll keep on going from there. So we've talked a little bit about sort of how we can support each other. We've talked about our agreements. We're trying to build a team. So now we're going to practice team building together. We're going to do some like real-time team building. There are no trust falls, but it's going to be really fun. And our Jasmine, former middle school teacher, has been the architect of our activities of our team building. So you know they're going to be really fun.
So full disclosure, I work with 6th and 7th grade as a science teacher, so you might see some science activities in there too. When Rob talked about the medicine wheel and asked you all to reflect on where you fall in that medicine wheel, right? Where are you balanced, where are you not in balance? So our purpose of team building activities is to really go further into each section, to really think about how we feel in that section and how we bring ourselves into this work. So we've designed 4 different activities that fall under the sections, and we're going to split off into groups. So we're going to do countdown, count off. So we can start with, and then you can almost follow body, mind, emotion, spirit, body, mind,
Emotion.
body, spirit.
And so we have, yep, and so each group has a facilitator. So Danny will be with the
Spirit.
thank you. Spirit will be held outside for a little quieter space. Me and Lydia are with Body, so
Body.
we will be right in that section. Mine will be with Minra, and Minra's team is gonna be right over here. And emotion is gonna be with Tanisha. Tanisha, you're gonna be here. Perfect. And we're each gonna have 8 minutes. 8 minutes for each, and then 1 minute transition. So my facilitator will make sure we're on that 8 minute mark, and then you'll hear me say switch, and we're gonna switch clockwise. All right, so wherever you are placed, please go meet your facilitator.
Spirits.
Spirit. Body. Body.
Yes, there we go.
Hi.
We'll be here. Of course you are. Welcome.
All right, so I'm gonna say standing just a little bit about what we're gonna do. And you don't ever heard.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a theater.
So,
piece.
you're kind of-
Next to the-
There's marker.
Ready? You want to ask a question about it lives outside.
Okay.
So these theater groups are really meant to bring us out of our body and connect it with how we're feeling.
To be able to.
And just interact with each other. in different ways.
So each of
Yeah. But this, we're not gonna do improv or acting. It's just a theater game, so this game is. It's called Colombian hypnosis. We played it. So here is. You have a.
Okay. So.
So you're just gonna look for jump out, and you can underline and circle
One
that.
person is.
Yep.
Just.
One. So you choose ahead of time, it's gonna be. The person who is the person being hypnotized, their goal is to follow. So as the hypnotizer, I'm partner A. So the hypnotizer will put their hand out, and their hand is.
However, there,
And
whichever kind of.
person will follow the hand. So for example, if I move my hand down here, Lydia's head also moves down here. And I can point to different parts of the body that I'd like to have her move. So it's not talking. For example.
You grab.
So is to manipulate the other person's body into different positions. And so you can even make the other person walk.
Oh. Yeah, you guys are done, so you're gonna put your heads down and then we're done. Perfect. Yeah. You'll put your words together, and use them to create a poem. Well, flow, right? In one circle. Anybody can decide who you want to have right, but you can come together.
And I'm okay.
Take 2 minutes and then we'll switch. And
yeah. Emotion and social. Yeah. Yes. Emotion. Yeah, yeah, I'm totally fine with this. I think this. Help get it going. I'm totally fine.
It's now, it's the best on the board.
Okay, so, right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think one goes with the other pretty well, right?
First, second.
Transform. Yes, transforming talents, understanding. Action. Okay, so do we have people as a group have that perspective?
So bring that.
So wait, do we have the discussion in that group
Yes,
or?
in that group.
Okay, when do we do that? Whenever? Yeah. Oh, okay.
You have 2 minutes left. All right, switch. Oh, I think you'll actually switch. That's awesome. If you want to switch like teams.
How was the video? How did it? It wasn't this good. Not this good. So. Yeah. That's it. Okay, I have it. Well, you can continue building up your life, but. Yes, I mean, or you can get balance in your mind.
In 10 more seconds.
Okay, so. How was it as a team?
Hey.
Yeah.
They all are respecting one another, they're listening to one another.
All right, well, we could take a seat and talk about this. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or lack thereof.
I can also send you the article where you can find more. There's so many cool ones. Love it. Also like being person to me.
Actually, I didn't like being person.
Right, that's what I know. I think.
I
that's
like
a
the
really good
first
job.
night. Longer actors felt way longer.
All supported. And so, so it's just trying to circle back to the idea of how it works. In this exercise, how do you see this?
Yeah. Okay. I want to see her some.
For sure, for sure.
Yes.
It felt weird to photocopy. the
Two
paper.
common goals, right? How do you
Do you
feel
think that it
in terms of working with this,
like
in your age?
If it was one of my friends, I would rather one person.
I was watching this video.
How do you think this relates to?
They use, they tie it onto the thing, and like you had a corner, or they had a corner, and they're. Once you figure out the signal, like. Sticks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so I'm thinking. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, that was a good idea. You would think my people would.
This is perfect, like you need to be going through. Okay, the bottom part. What I want to think about. Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah. Seems to cut. Yeah, I think that would really good. Just also.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah,
that-
imagine.
This is my opinion that. Because
10 more seconds.
it's like, even just that short time, you feel like
No.
it's like.
Maybe not, maybe not.
That person. It's a time, right? You know.
They didn't.
As well.
Which, so you guys can.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we'll.
Eight minutes now.
Yeah, I think you got this one.
So for our activity, we're gonna be sitting out because there's a lot of movement with our bodies.
Short and just.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. Yes. G is actually.
There it is.
The G. With all our emotion.
There
we go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes. There we go.
That way, when you guys start working.
Hey, what's up?
So. You
Is this us?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, you want
Motion. Yeah.
And so.
Doesn't even make any sense. You can
That's how I know.
We're gonna. use
Okay.
it to create a color.
Want you to think about.
And then now they're. This is the emotions part, yeah. So here is your paper. That was there.
From that was for theater view press. Theater view press.
And then there's something.
To really think about how we have to work on.
I'll put the timer on for 3 minutes and then you guys.
You got it. Have at it.
Today we're.
Ooh, top each other. Better not talk. Yeah.
Person A. The hypnotizer. B will do the hypnotizer. So we'll put you in here, and what it would look like is, for example, okay, the hypnotizer. And so, you're gonna put you the other person. Back to and so the hypnotized will just follow what you're asking it to, for example, is.
There you go. As you're doing that, can I tell you about, the part I really want to get into about? So, you know, they have this, oh. Okay. I'm trying to balance my emotion part, man.
Space.
And so, yeah. And so they'll follow your,
They just do it.
that's like what you want.
Yeah.
So we'll,
And so, my daughter,
then we'll.
my daughter paid for it.
Tuesday at 8. And same. We're gonna. Yes, all right. You were. The body. For the body. And then 1 minute. 1 minute, so yes. Oh, yes. Mia.
If you're done, you just let your thing down. You guys can-
Or, yes. Okay, ready? Sorry, yeah. You'll switch anyway, so.
Oh, it's
You'll
still
guys.
guys.
Take a turn, so, okay. She's ready?
Okay.
Is that what that means? But yeah, you gotta,
You really are.
no.
That's perfect.
Thank you. So you guys are welcome to do whatever way you'd like. So you can think about your words and just write it, or you can write all the words, the underline and circled, and then put them into a column. You can do whichever way you like, and you can choose who you want to be the reporter in your group.
Can I just show you?
Go ahead, do your-
I'll be recording.
So I have.
I love what Tanya did. She had just had like do a full. Okay, so now, okay, now you get this.
And so,
Yes.
and I thought that because
Can I give you a hint?
I would say that a lot
Oh
of
man, what are you?
the things that happen in the world is due to a pressure or oppressed reality. Or a scenario. And the pressure seems to always have to be right, or always has to control the oppressing, even though. The price can be.
22. No, we have, oh, actually, we have 26.
Okay.
Okay.
Restraining.
How about all
Right,
the-
you got 30. I think it's not one. If it was.
Raise your hand if you like being person A, that's
Okay, I said.
the person who's doing it.
One. Oh, I like that.
Raise your hand.
It is
if you like
period.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just the second.
How was it?
Tell me more about your experience.
How was it a challenge? We did not have control.
Just all whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
It's more of a passive.
Right.
Oh, perhaps you got to liberate.
So what would be?
Roots.
Oh, I have.
Absolutely, you know, you got notice?
I wish you had been to have more.
Perception.
Perception. We should have. All we need to do is a rubber band.
Wait, right on.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. Yeah.
You but no, you're all good. That was like,
So, I'd like to say with the next question.
that. you were putting
How
in those
do you-
plans.
How down?
Like you knew that you were doing that, but did you know that hurt to squat for 45 seconds? No, yes, see, so I think this is something really interesting about power dynamics.
I think, you know, obviously you're like, so there's certainly some dynamics.
Well, it's okay. I think. Yes, I think that's.
Sure.
How do you all think that's-
Absolutely. So how do y'all think about this project and your work? And how it is
I saw you doing that. I saw you doing that. I was like,
You would have been stuck, right?
oh, I also do fillers. I told the other group that they can do fillers.
No.
Want me to take this one off? Take this one off and I'll hold it up. You guys.
Yeah, I think, I think it's a great representation where we're all at, right? Like we all want to be. Right, and we might not be 100. So if you take a look at
Ratio is not, can we use like all of the A's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the important point of that. Only, I say that right? Milestone?
Say not.
Sorry.
Every grant.
Anna, that we acknowledge it, like, our good example, but we also. And so this is kind of like. Show that a little bit.
Maybe trace that, yes.
I said. So we all have the same.
Am I doing it right?
It is important.
This is what it in me. Yeah.
All right, y'all,
I appreciate you guys helping me do it.
switch,
Oh, and one more thing,
okay, okay.
Thank you.
Easily persuaded. She wore me down.
Well, that was it.
Have y'all just came from. Oh.
Yeah, right.
The cups. Without Jim. Did you guys vote that?
I know.
All right, y'all, switch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, on the road. First one.
Appreciate you.
Home run.
So we were just with mine. Did we go to Spirit?
Right. Everyone over.
Yes. Oh, wait, you were just. Body, where were you just, sorry, we were, oh, yeah, well, outside, okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
So I give you each a sheet. Doesn't have to make any sense, we're just using it to pull words out.
Hi.
And then when you're finished.
How are the rest of your?
Devotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you have? You had.
We had.
I know.
Like,
why am I-
Start with that. You have to fix that. Huh? Oh, your breath was fine, not mine, yes. And we're body.
So what would you, so sphere.
Yep, so you're here. You should have.
They like added flags of his, but if you don't.
Do you want to introduce and then explain?
Give me the mindset. I want you to get shot. Where you're at in this, as you go through the mind. Not compliment each other.
I know.
Spirit.
So raise your hand forward.
Can't touch that.
So it's
You are any of these,
and he is.
tools.
So
You talk, do that, the only thing is.
Worked a lot in education. He really talked about.
Yeah, I will say that
how
it is possible.
Based on what grade.
See the person.
And so he's all about.
Yeah.
From
No
pedagogy.
pressure.
He's leader.
No, it was. That's very creative. So, can't touch it with your hand. Can't touch it with your body. Yeah. So you can use these tools.
And how these work with different. Today, I'm gonna play, theater game called Colombian Hypnosis.
Yeah, and so how that game is played, so person A is the hypnotizer, person B is the hypnotized. So you'll be in here. We'll show what that looks like, and so you'll be having 1 minute. You'll switch. So at one point you'll be hypnotized, and at one point you'll be hypnotizer. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Ready? But you're having the other person tell them what to do without speaking. Okay, so use your hand. Okay, you can pass it. Oh, here. So you'll use your hand, right? And so then you move your hand based on what you want the other person to do. Sorry.
There you go. It's gonna be as that calls me comparison. Any means.
If you want to be the reporter and you can do it any way you want, you can talk about your words and create a poem, or you can choose to make a list of your words and then however creative way you want to do it is fine. It's a group. There's no right or wrong way.
And so, and then. So you'll do that for 1 minute, and then this. So say your listener. Yeah.
You don't have to write the words and then do
So pick each person first.
Yep, you guys can do that. It might be faster to do this.
Okay, ready?
That's a lot of words.
Yeah.
Okay, what words did you pull out? Jude?
Power. Resolve. This is a manifested knowledge. Children.
Right.
Contradiction, objective reality, subjective perception, receiver, rationalization, his interest and submersion.
We're already the same thing. So I pulled out generosity, destroy, beautiful, transform, trust, unity. Love.
Nice.
So now with the words we pulled out.
Time's up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, 2 seconds.
Okay. All right, so now you switch, okay? Ready? And go.
4 minutes.
Minutes?
Yes. How's your team doing?
It was great. What about those things? 4 minutes, 1 minute.
And these that you. Are laughing on to spell. Yeah. Writing in my mind.
Yeah, it's usually. Oh, is it? All right, so have a seat. Find out about the activity. And how that went for you. So raise your hand if you have a big person.
The challenge. Figure that out. And then like, wait, what you come into space, you do what you said, and that's it.
Do you all think that,
So we use those words. So the words to
I'm like, I'm so really like the intro, it's good to be out.
One of the list of words is like.
Song is nice to be.
Like power.
So you experience the side, and then only you will know that,
So the six.
what you experience here, what you experience can be said.
T?
Yeah.
1 minute, 30 seconds.
Oh.
I got to feel how uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't
And
get as much you want.
you know what I mean? So,
So in terms of.
it's smaller than the second time.
Hour.
To just.
Hour down.
There's like.
Sir, felt.
And words maybe?
I was like.
I don't know. I think that's fine.
Yeah. And, most of the time. And do you think personally? No, is there concerns with the press? Does it have to be that? Is it different?
It gave us that context for the space making assumption. So if you had not led with the fear of oppression and pressure word had been.
Well, the reason I asked is
It
because.
was. See, yeah. Wow. That's different things. It is.
That.
I'm going to the circles.
It's good to do it in silence.
Read, like learn.
Yeah,
Work together and be creative. And adapt. All right, y'all. Switch. Last
All right, and that's fun.
Hey.
Okay, y'all, 8 minutes, starting
Setting my timer, Joe.
as soon as. Then Rob, stop talking.
Rob, stop.
All right, start, 8 minutes.
Nice to see you all.
And I'm gonna give you each a page of text. It doesn't have to make any sense. You're gonna pull words out. So you're gonna underline the words that jump out to you. You can underline them or circle them.
No, this one.
I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to work on that on your own.
You guys feel like.
And then you're gonna come together with the words that you each have underlined or circled. And you're gonna make a poem. So this is- Some groups wrote all their words down and then made a song of them. And then this group didn't do that for the sake of time and just created their poem. So you guys can go ahead and sit down, take your time to pick your words. And then when everybody's done, put your pen down and then I'll know. And then you can talk. Hello, hello.
In the middle of it.
There were people that here.
But in another. Like, you know, like, color.
Well, this is our last rotation.
No worries, we'll look at them at the end.
Last rotation.
Yep,
We are.
last one, we have 6 minutes.
Comfortable with that.
Yep, we have 6 minutes left.
Fine, body, mind, spirit, so your task here. Build a pyramid. Body?
Yes, you're. Based on the last.
You were able to use PhDs.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, all right.
To show you that this.
So.
It's possible.
So we're going to play a game. You don't have to. So you'll.
So
Just for one. Any
as
other.
many words as you want. You want as many as you want.
Oh, I see, okay, okay. That's what I- So we're gonna do similar words. Person A will be the hypnotizer. Person B will be the hypnotized. And so you'll be asking your partner to make certain movements. So without speech, okay? And so you guys will do that for 1 minute and then you'll switch. Awesome. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll have.
You're doing something though.
Ease up. And then with your hand, you tell your partner what you're wanting them to do. So.
What's wrong?
Work out. Unless.
Can I give you? Yes. First thing you use. You don't have to. Yeah.
And don't be afraid to get each other into really good. Exactly. Don't be afraid of telling your partner what you want to write. Okay.
Just
So
minutes left for you to create your poem. Who you want to be your writer. And then
I'll train you.
can decide. You can bring all your words, write all your words down collectively, or you can like each.
You got it.
See the it's first. One. I think. Okay, 1 minute starting now. Okay.
So, goal. Right. Huh? Right. Okay. To it, reality. Power. That was me search. That was me search. Yes, I'm looking at it. Oh. You want to spell it? And VEALESI. And
6 months.
Okay, change. This. Match.
And you're making them work.
Precisely. Deny,
Somewhere said.
denied. Truth,
Never given us a cookie?
lie. Interest.
There you go.
Hey,
That
that's
was
what.
good. They have like a whole theory. Never taken the mouse to the.
Okay, so, see. You start forming up.
So do you want to give me your paper?
Yeah. Keep ready.
Oh, my sorry. We're ready to have, we're about to get.
Thank you.
Well, June 30th. We're not doing that.
I got the correct.
Oh, okay. Yep, I sure do. 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah, that. Sorry.
Don't have to use them all now. You can use as many or as few as you like.
Like we have percent A.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we can say happy.
How you look at me? Person, it's better to get person.
Yes. So let's keep reading.
Is it the or the huge when you're okay, so yeah. There it is.
Okay, so
But it was easier to be the one directing, and it felt more uncomfortable to be direct. Yeah, more challenging.
It's here. It is here by itself, right?
I think that
What about the?
I felt just control.
Consciously.
Being told to go in that direction, that some people do too. That's never done. Yeah. Sure. I really wish like
so that is what we think that we say happy. We don't have them, right? Okay.
Bring it up.
10 more seconds.
One is rapid.
Okay, so happy tears and truth being
Cultural experience.
that's what I
But we don't have
can
time.
say. People
Has anyone ever heard?
Sometimes you should see.
And about reparations.
And there was another book that
Mom who's theater education, so what would you do to gain around oppression
right for change.
Okay.
society, all that other stuff.
Right for change.
All right, y'all, back to your seats. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take a picture, send it to you.
No.
No. I came close. No, sorry.
Good.
Great, but I think we're all on here. Yeah.
We're all.
Oh, thank you.
Right, y'all. Thank you for participating. As we wrap up, read on your way out, read what other people have written for their poems. They're all really interesting, and I would say with at least my group, we've all took very different directions. So interesting to see. Just really quickly, raise your hand if you connected more with the body, the mind. Oh, we're all, oh, sorry, think to yourself, which one did you connect more? Now that you have it, raise your hand. Mind. Emotions.
Could be more than one.
Yeah. Spirit. Interesting. And so just keep that in mind. As we do this work together, where you fall.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I like that. Everybody rolls their head in their mind, they have the tallest.
Well, we are gonna close out and talk a little bit about next steps. So there's a doodle poll that's out there. Please fill it out. Amy and Lydia are gonna do high level algebra and all the maths to be able to work it out. We know that you are very engaged and busy people, so we're gonna find a meeting date that works for everyone.
Yeah, and that way we can also schedule a meeting as soon as possible so that you all can plan ahead for our next meeting.
Absolutely. There's a website. If you haven't been there, we'll put the materials from tonight there, as well as those videos that we did watch. They're really, I think they're really cool. But like I said, our actors are very open to feedback. And then Lydia Lopez, who could run a small country, not even small country, I don't know why I'm qualifying it. She is your contact. So any questions, big or small, she will be kind of like your first line. We'll be taking all of this and sort of like trying to come up with like an amazing agenda. And I just want to say thank you so much. Like, it's been really exciting to read all of your applications, and to like, we've just been so excited about being able to like be to meet you all and to also be in this space together with you. It's so wonderful, and I like Portland for a lot of reasons. Portland's hard, but I like Portland for a lot of reasons, and I feel so thankful that we live in a community where on a home every we have a school principal, we have another accountant, we have like students who are here for 5 to 8, like committed to our school community and to making our schools better. It's so inspiring, and I feel so lucky. And one of the pieces of my culture is that we really believe in generosity, and I want to repay your generosity of time with generosity from our team. We have a little website that says RESJ branded. So so we have a little lunch bag, and it's RESJ, so you can pick your color. And then we have a box that comes from a native run company called Indigenize. And so everything from that box is like sourced from native owned or native run companies. And so there's some hot sauce, some beans and rice. And so as a small token of our appreciation for all of the generosity and spirit and time that you're showing all of us. And it's super amazing. Like, the RSJ team is like super great. And so I hope that you'll continue to get to know how amazing they are. So thank you for your time.
Danny,
You retreated.
one more.
You did it. One more thing
Before we let you guys go. So under the logistics, we got some really good feedback, and I wanted to find out if any of you have dietary restrictions for next time.
It's a thing, if you do have diarrhea.
So if you have, yeah, please let me know so we can plan for it next time. Thank you.
Feel free to say your dietary preferences too. Well, thanks so much. Have a great Friday. And today is Thursday. Yes, don't have a great Friday. Come on. Bye. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. No, it's fine. No.